Hey. I've been MIA for about 2 weeks and I'm so sorry. Things have been just downright hectic, and I don't know if it's because of the eclipse coming up. I don't know if it's because of Mercury going into retrograde. I don't know if it's because it is my Saturn return, or if it's a combination of all of those, or if it's none of those, but I have just been completely and utterly stretched to my absolute thinnest lately. And I feel like I am in a place now that I'm okay to come back and film videos. If this is the first video you're seeing of me, I'm so sorry that that's the intro. Usually I'm not as hot of a mess as I have been lately, but anyways, I'll introduce myself. I am Sophie, I'm the Midwest magician, and I do a lot of magical vlogging, occasionally some informative or educational videos, but that's not really my bread and butter. It's mostly just the vlogging, the everyday magic. But I figured that today it would be super fun. Since my last vlog, I told you guys about my ghost story. Nothing's happened since, but I did before that purchase that red brick dust and some iron coffin nails. So I thought that today would be fun to show you guys how I'm setting this stuff up for home protection. So if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to get cozy, grab a snack, grab a drink, and kick back and we'll do some home protection together. Really quick, before we get started on the vlog, I was looking at my channel analytics and I noticed that 70% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel. So if that describes you, I would love to formally invite you to hit that subscribe button, join our little growing family over on this corner of the internet. I would love to have you. If not, no pressure either. We love you here regardless of if you're subscribed. But let's go ahead, we'll jump into the vlog. Okay, so I think the first thing that I want to focus on for the home protection is going to be the perimeter of my house. So what I want to do first is make some kind of, I don't know what necessarily to call it. I guess maybe a tea, or I don't want to say potion because I feel like you have to drink a potion, but whatever the equivalent to that would be for outside. So I'd like to make something that I can put around the perimeter of my house to deter any unwanted guests, whether they be people or spirits. I do have some other ideas too for like additional lines of defense to getting to the house, but I don't necessarily know that I can film those. So the first idea, don't make fun of me. I'm not even really a huge fan of this series, but I got the idea from Harry Potter, his invisibility cloak. I want my house to have a giant invisibility cloak over it, so that first line of defense is this, to ward people and spirits off that I don't want here. Second line of defense is the invisibility cloak, so they don't even notice that the house is here. Like they'll just walk right past it or drive right past it or whatever ghosts do, float right past it without even noticing that it's an option for them. And then the third line of defense, I could make a whole separate video on. I think I'm gonna keep it personal and private though, but I will tell you about it. I would like to make a servitor for the perimeter of the house. And my idea for this, feel free to take it if you wanna use this idea, because I'm very excited about it. I think it'll work out really well. I want my servitor to be a mama bear. So the main idea is that the house is her cave and everyone living or invited to be inside of the cave or house is gonna be considered one of her cubs. And if you know anything about bears, then you know they go absolutely feral if you go near their babies, their cubs. So basically the first line of defense, like we said, is gonna be this. Second line of defense, invisibility cloak. And if somehow, some way, somebody, some spirit or person gets through those two lines of defenses without being invited here, Mama Bear will take care of them before they can even get to the front door. So that's kind of my idea for that. I'm very excited. Servitors though, like I said, it's gonna take a long time to actually create her. So I think that'll be, I don't think I'm gonna make a video on it, but that's gonna be what I do, and that's gonna take a long time, so it's not gonna be included in this video. But let's go ahead and make whatever this is called, I don't know, our outside water, our wall of protection. That's what we'll call it, a wall of protection. We'll make that right now. Also, shout out to Ivy the occultist for the idea of having the servitor walking the perimeter of the house. She's talked about it in multiple of her videos. So thank you for that inspiration. I am very excited to implement it with my practice. As always for my spell work, feel free to substitute out any ingredients for what you have on hand. I'm gonna start out with some sea salt, and then I'm following that up with some dragon's blood resin incense. Dragon's blood is one of my favorite things for protection magic. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add in some coriander, which might be controversial, but it has proven time and time again to work well for protective magic, in my opinion. Next, I'll add in some crushed red pepper just to bring a little bit of heat to our spell. It's a little bit hard to get out of the jar though. And from there, I'll go ahead and add a big old chunk of black obsidian. You can swap that out for any protective crystal that you would like, or no crystal. Next, I'm gonna add in 6 bay leaves, and I know a lot of people like to use those for wishing magic, but again, like the coriander, it has proven to be great for protection for me. And then I'm gonna add in some bundles of cedar. And if you don't have cedar on hand, you can find tons of different alternatives just by going on a walk outside. And when you do harvest from plants outside, make sure to harvest responsibly, ask for permission, and only take what you need. After that, I'm gonna go ahead and add in patchouli. I love this for protection magic as well, and I also am a huge fan of the smell. I feel like it's one that you either love or hate, and I love it. After that, I'm gonna add in some white vinegar just for a little bit of a bite. If anything tries to come through, I want it to immediately stop in its tracks, and vinegar helps so much with that. And after all is said and done, I'm just gonna top it all off with water and let it steep like a tea. We got it, okay? So I'm gonna let this steep probably overnight, and then I will put this around the perimeter of the house, and I have to think of an idea for the invisibility cloak. So if you have any ideas for how to get that portion going, let me know in the comments down below, because I am open to ideas, but that is going to be on the horizon as well. And then, since I told you guys in the Ostara video about my nails, I'm gonna take 4 of the ones that I have after I charge them and do them in the corners of the property as well, to kind of like tether everything and all of the protection to the land. So I think now that we have this, and I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to go put it out there just so it's nice, really nice and potent, I'm gonna move on to the inside of the house. Okay, oh, I'm sorry, Mason. He decided to come and join us for the video. But I want to grab my iron coffin nails so that we can charge those and to get them ready to be our wards for inside of the home. So if any of our outside of the home protections fail us, we have things set up inside. And I do already have wards in the house, but you can never have too many protection wards, right? Let me grab them. I have them charging right now over on my, let me hold this down. Hello. Oh goodness, I hope these don't fall. They're charging on my Sun Tarot dish, and I have them on what I consider to be the masculine side of my altar, just kind of as like a kind of fiery protection energy for these. So those have been charging. Mason's really eager to start charging those even further. And honestly, I don't know how a lot of other people do wards. I haven't seen very many videos on them, so I might do them differently. Maybe you do them the same way that I do, but I personally prefer simplicity. I have wards that are crystals that I just have in different parts of the house that I will charge when they feel energetically empty. So I will be just charging those with a black candle a pentacle, and you know what? I'm not gonna describe it because you'll see it in 2 seconds when I put it together. But I will say, if you don't have like iron coffin nails, you don't need them. Just use some things that you have already within your home. I think it's super, super important that we don't overextend our budgets or our resources. Just use the things you have. And if it doesn't seem like it's for protective purposes, you can charge it to be like that. Or if you don't have, you know, iron coffin nails, but you have a box of screws in your garage, grab a couple of those. Like, you can be as creative as you want to be. It doesn't have to be beautiful, and it doesn't have to cost you virtually any money. So let's go ahead, let's put that together, and I'll tell you everything I'm doing as I'm doing it. I do love to set the tone for my spell work with an incense. I feel like it really gets me in the proper headspace. From there, I'm going to place down a mirrored surface. I do like to do a lot of workings on a mirror because I do personally believe as above, so below. So I like to reflect that, no pun intended, in my working. Next, I'm going to go ahead and secure my black candle to my fire safe cauldron. Make sure you're using a fire safe dish with any kind of candle workings. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put my, I think it's 15 iron nails around my candle and on my mirrored surface. And really, my spell work, again, is super simple. I don't like to do these crazy elaborate things most of the time because I feel like I can put more of my energy into the actual spell than the preparation for it. So from there, once I have everything all set up just the way I like it, I will go ahead and light my candle, and I'll begin to say my incantations. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and grab my pentacle, cleanse it in the fire, and then just add it to my working. And again, I'll do my incantations as many times as I feel called to. For this spell, I'm not going to personally share what my incantation was because that is personal to my practice, but there are a million online if you want to look some up or need inspiration for what to say for your incantation to charge your spell work. And as you can see there, we have a very strong flame. Throughout the whole spell, the flame stayed very strong. I'll show you a few more clips, but that is really it for the spell work portion. Okay, my spell is done. I cleaned it up because I don't like to leave my space too messy, but I will go ahead and immediately take 4 of these guys for the perimeter of the home, and I'll put it over with my wall of protection. And then for the rest of them, for me at least with my wording, it's as simple as placing these. However, my tip to you, because I have done this before, don't forget where you put your wards, because when you need to recharge them, you want to be able to find them. So for these ones, I think what I'm going to do is place them over the top of the door frames for all of the bedrooms so that any energy is forbidden from going into the bedrooms or coming out into the house from the bedrooms if there's anything we don't want in there. I think we'll also do it over the windows, and we'll see if there's anything left. I'm not really sure where else I'll put them, but I'm sure I'll find a spot. Potentially, you could ask your plants if you could drive one of these into the soil in exchange for all of the water, sunlight, and any nutrients that they might need, and see how it feels when you ask them that, if you get any kind of response or energy back from them. So maybe I will ask a few of my plants if I have any left over, if they'd be willing to help me with that. And if you're already charging your wards, I've done this before, I didn't for this video, but you could grab some sachet bags with a little drawstring on the top and fill those with any protective herbs that you have. Again, it doesn't have to be elaborate or anything like that. Fill those with some herbs. You can charge them with the same candle that you're charging any other wards with. And then since, for me personally, I have a bunch of these little guys running around, I would hang them up high or place them up where they cannot get to. So somewhere like up there. However, if you plan on doing like energy work that's more focused towards the ground, and like for me personally, I love doing the sweeping with my besom right here. I should decorate this. That'd be fun for a vlog. But if I'm doing any kind of sweeping with this, I like to mix up a kind of salt sweep to put on the floor, and then I can kind of visualize it cleansing the energy. And actually that makes me kind of want to do that right now, because I have that red brick dust that I showed you guys in my Astara video. So maybe I will mix up some salt with the red brick dust, and we can sweep the floors and get that protection energy going throughout the house. Because I feel like, I think I talked about this in my last video, I feel like since I got the cleansing totally down, at this point it's more about cultivating the good energy in the house. And I do want there to be protection energy in that as well. So I think what I'll do is mix up the protection floor salt, sweep it through, and then everything's basically already locked in with boards. I only have 2 left. I just went and placed a bunch of them. I only have 2 left, so I need to find places for these. But that can wait. We're gonna do our floor salt, we're gonna sweep it up, and we'll see where we go from there.
This is about the easiest thing that you could mix up. I am taking 1 ounce of red brick dust, that's my whole bag, about the same amount of ground coffee, and then a sprinkle of regular salt. You could use sea salt, table salt, whatever you want. And then you just mix it up really well. Do you like my little spoon? The skull with some heart eyes. I was so excited when I found it. But yeah, that's everything you have to do. And then it's ready to be sprinkled on the ground and swept up.
Really therapeutic, I won't even lie. And the energy feels tangibly different to me. I've never worked with red brick dust before. I have worked with the salt and coffee combination, but something about this red brick dust, I am really digging it. And I feel like the only word that is coming to mind like perfectly describes the dust in general, which is security. Like it feels secure, it feels strong. I feel like, you know, the coziness of a nice brick house. Like I feel that just from sweeping with this inside of my house. So I think I'm gonna go and do the rest of the rooms with this, because this energy is like, it's really nice. I quite like it. And it's not cold. Like I was expecting, like, you know, when you cleanse, completely strip a room of all the energy, it feels like kind of jarring and like stark. It doesn't feel like that with this. This is very secure but cozy. Like I feel warm after just sweeping this room with this. So I'm gonna think I'm gonna call the video here. I'm gonna go sweep the other rooms in my house. I do have more that I would like to share, so if you want to see a part 2 to home protection, let me know in the comments down below. I would be more than happy, but I'm very satisfied with everything that we've done so far today. And tomorrow I will be putting my wall of protection around the house, and hopefully I can figure out the invisibility cloak and get started on my mama bear servitor. If you liked this video, if you made it to the end, let me know. I love to know who makes it to the end. Give it a thumbs up if you did like it. And if you're not subscribed, if you're one of those 70% of my viewers that is not subscribed, again, I would love for you to join the channel. Hit subscribe if you feel so inclined. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys way sooner than 2 weeks from now, I promise.